Hello. Sorry about this voiceover jump scare. I decided to narrate this video because I have a lot to talk about, and I figured it'd be best to just go ahead and speak instead of putting up entire paragraphs of text on the video. So let's get the biggest item out of the way first. Are we going to make our goal release date this year? Well, brace yourself, because this may come as a shock, but no. A lot happened, and I'm going to talk about why, but if all you care about is an update on the release date, there you go. Having a goal was actually really helpful for us on the team, and honestly it did help motivate us by having something to work towards and talk about, but ultimately we fell victim to our greatest enemy, Silksong. I mean scope creep. Well, sort of. More like scope uncreep. To be honest, about a year ago, I felt like I was running out of steam on the project. The general tone of comments in my videos was shifting away from, wow, this looks so neat, to how much longer do I have to wait? That and a bunch of other factors in real life contributed to me feeling like I should cut a lot of our planned content and just finish it so we could be done and move on. I even had a draft rewrite of the story to account for the change, and mentally I was operating under this decision for a long time. So one day, I pitched it to the team, and as it turns out, my idea was not popular at all. In fact, I was the only one who wanted to do this, and everyone else pushed back pretty strongly, and I got outvoted. This actually happens very often, by the way. A lot of people think I'm making this project by myself and making all the decisions, but that's actually not true at all. I'm just one with a YouTube channel. So what do things look like now? Well, we decided to scrap all of the vanilla bosses. Originally, the plan was to have a mix of modded vanilla bosses as well as our new ones, but now we're just going to have brand new bosses for every major dungeon. And currently we're looking at having 8 major dungeons, which means 9 new bosses. I mean, obviously the final boss has to be custom, right? So 8 plus the final boss. Several of those are completed already, and we have the design done for about half of the remaining ones. In fact, for the next devlog, I really want to do a full deep dive into how we make our bosses. If you played the Chapter 2 demo, you may remember a sign promising an epic skeleton boss. Well, here he is, Hadi. Our concept artist / character modeler is absolutely cracked, as you can see. He recorded these time lapses for me so I could tease them here. Anyway, I'd really love to talk about how I program the boss AI and show you everything that goes into designing a boss fight on a technical level. So let me know if that's something you'd be interested in seeing. Okay, many of the dungeons will also be getting brand new mini bosses as well. If you saw the shorts I posted recently, you've already seen this guy. I'm actually quite proud of him because I drew the concept art for this boss myself. It's my own original creation. Here, let me show you what that looks like. I don't mean to pat myself on the back here, but it's really quite astonishing how skilled of an artist I am if you consider my main focus is on programming. I mean, look at this masterpiece. Anyway, one of our modelers was able to somehow magic this drawing into the guy that you see now before you, and it's pretty much exactly what I wanted. My inspiration for this fight is the Burial Watchdog from Elden Ring. There was something just so eerie and unsettling about the way that thing moves that really stuck with me, and I wanted to recreate that uncanny feeling in my animations for him as well. So that's where things stand on scope. We did add another environment modeler to the team as well to help with dungeons and scenes, but there's still just a huge amount of art assets that we need to make. Anyway, that's my excuse for missing our release date goal. If you think that's not good enough explanation, then leave your hate messages in the comments below. Next, let's talk more about why it's been so long since the last devlog update, which is the second most asked question I get. And the truth is, we're just kind of running out of content that's appropriate to show in this format. A lot of it is either big code changes or new tooling, or story and game progression that we don't want to spoil. So here's a list of the things we've worked on that I can vaguely tell you about without showing you any details. First, new items and weapons. For about 2 straight months, I did nothing but work on items and make link animations. We have our item kit pretty well rounded out now with a mix of familiar and new equipment. One of the ones I'm most proud of is extremely weird and unique. I promise, it's nothing like you've seen in a Zelda game before. It's really quite nutty. Altogether, I created over 50 new animations for Link to support the new tools and items. Next is the new dialogue system. This is just a code change, so I won't spend too much time on it. The way vanilla NPCs handle dialogue is quite painful, resulting in these massive sprawling trees of logic that are really hard to follow and even harder to edit and modify. So I wrote a tool that will allow us to define these dialogue trees in a simpler format, which is JSON that you see here, and then generate all the C code during the build stage. This is going to allow us to really lean into the story and side quests. And I know not everyone likes reading dialogue boxes, but we have some great stories to tell for those that are interested, and this will help us do that. It's also supporting our design goal of making the player's choices matter and have consequences. Most NPCs are aware of what you're doing in the world, and the decisions you make for how to solve a certain side quest or who you ask for help on a mission will change their dialogue and how they see you. Now, it's not like this is some groundbreaking new gameplay idea or anything, I'm well aware of that, but this conversation tooling is just going to help us bring it to life without so much pain on the code side. We'll also have new villages and towns, as well as races of NPCs. This is a natural and obvious consequence of the previous feature that I just talked about. And sword upgradability. This was teased in the demo, but we've really fleshed out the system now. You'll find these Scarstone ore nodes well hidden throughout the world as another collectible, like heart pieces and gold sculptulas. These will be much rarer and harder to find though, since there's so few. Collecting enough Scarstone ore will let you upgrade your sword up to 5 times, granting additional reach and damage. Next is the scene title cards. This is a fun little visual improvement we've wanted to do for literally years, and just finally got around to doing it. When you enter a new named region, we'll show it briefly in the HUD. That's all. But let me tell you, we have literally hundreds of messages in our team Discord arguing about the font choice. The one I'm showing you now is the current favorite, but here's some alternatives that we've tried. Personally, this one is my favorite. It's weird and fun. I just think it's neat. Comment below which one you like best. Okay, Boons. Next up is the Boons feature. Some of you may have found the level 3 spin attack Easter egg in the Chapter 2 demo, and what we're calling Boons is the full system around that. Basically, these are abilities that you can obtain either through secrets or story progression that change up gameplay in fun ways. The boons can be toggled on and off as well in the pause menu. The level 3 spin attack is one, and another one I'll show here is the phase dash. Instead of a normal roll, you can dash a larger distance to pass through enemies and obstacles. The dash does grant iframes for the duration, but yeah, we wanted to make a lot more of these weird and quirky buffs in the form of boons. Some of our ideas for items that ended up not working out got turned into boons instead. Okay, and the final feature I want to talk about, cosmetics. If the top 2 comments I get are about the release date and devlog videos, number 3 is absolutely questions about Link's new look. So to quell the masses, here's a reveal about what we've been doing on that front. First, Link is canonically 37 years old in our story, and had resigned to a life as a mountain hermit before being dragged back out on an adventure. That should explain the new look I showed off in the previous videos. But of course, running around with thick winter gloves and a Wolfo's fur tunic all the time is a bit silly, so yes, we do have more tunic types than just that. Let me take you into the cosmetic shop. If you've run around Lina City in the demo, you probably saw all the buildings with doors we have blocked off with caution tape. The cosmetic shop is one such building. Now the Wolfo's tunic is the starting tunic, but here, as soon as you get to Lina City, you'll be able to buy the second tunic, which is customizable. This will also serve as a late game rupee sink to buy upgrades. Basically, you'll purchase a contract from the fashion designer here, and that grants you access to the shop. Then from here, you'll need to purchase additional unlocks to change your look. Some of you were surprisingly hostile about Link having a beard for some reason, so here, we have a clean-shaven option for you. There's also a few hairstyles to choose from, and of course you can customize the clothing. It's split up into a total of 9 combinations, so 3 base layers and 3 top layers. You can mix and match these however you want. I'm only showing 2 of the options here, the Classic Tunic and the Brawler Tunic. We'll keep the third option a secret for the final release. Lastly, there's also an option to change the color tint. This is an HSL color picker. You can mess with these to pick any color you like. HSL is a lot easier to use than manipulating RGB values directly, at least in my opinion, though of course it just gets converted to RGB behind the scenes. There's also a rainbow dye that the shopkeeper will try to upsell you on down the line. I already have it unlocked here, but setting your hue to the max value enables the rainbow mode. You can still adjust the saturation and lightness as well if you prefer like a more muted pastel look or that fully saturated vivid look. Oh, you can also cycle through some poses to see how the tunic looks in action if you want, as well as change the lighting to see how your colors will appear under different lighting circumstances out in the world. All in all, this was a pretty fun feature to make, and we're all really proud of it. Aside from just the art, it also presented some serious technical hurdles as well. We'd run out of RAM immediately if we tried to keep all these different meshes in memory at once, which is how Vanilla handles Link assets. So we had to make a new memory management strategy for Link so that we can swap in different chunks of his asset file based on what he's wearing. Majora's Mask does something similar with transformation masks. And that's all I have to say. I hope you enjoyed this devlog update, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.